we know that IPAs are important, yet either we're procrastinating with them or we're doing them and we're not seeing the results, right? So why is that happening? Why do we know we need to do them? Why do we know that they're important, yet we're not doing them? And so the main reason that we're procrastinating, right, and we're not doing them is because, well, for one, obviously you're self-sabotaging, but you're self-sabotaging because you're not, what I like to say, you're not tapping into what I like to call your inner queen. So that seems like a little bit kind of a crazy talk, but I'm going to elaborate on that for a second. And because I know you're probably like, Hannah, what are you even talking about? But the reason why our IPAs aren't working isn't necessarily because you're doing something wrong, right? But it's because you're approaching it in a way that doesn't feel good. You're approaching it in a completely different kind of energy than you feel like you should be, right? So you're approaching it almost like, I have to do this to make a sale, right? I have to do this because this is what's going to get me to my goal, right? When you stop and take a second and you actually check your energy levels, you check the reason why you're doing this, and you're like, I'm doing this to make a difference. I'm doing this so I can serve someone else. And you're actually doing your IPAs to serve, which we'll get on this topic here in just a second, but you're actually approaching your IPAs in a way that is serving to your audience and not self-serving anymore. It becomes totally different, and people, it's like they fall in love with you. It's like they are totally drawn to you and they want to have a conversation with you. It's a completely different mindset. It's a completely different shift. But if you can actually just change the way you approach your IPAs, that is going to help a ton, right? Because I'll get to this in the next reason why, but people can feel your energy, right? They can feel if you are talking to them just so you can get something out of them, right? Like how many times, like raise your hand, let me know in the comments, like how many times have you actually gotten a message from someone and you know the whole purpose of that message is for them to sell you something, right? Like the energy is totally different. Here's the deal. First and foremost, you're procrastinating because you know you're approaching it in a salesy way. Okay? You know you're approaching it in a way that doesn't feel good, in a way that's going to turn people off, right? So you don't want to do them. And also, you're not stepping into who you were made to be. You're not stepping into your highest and truest self, right? And so what I like to say is you're not stepping into your inner queen, right? And what I mean by inner queen is that we're daughters of the king. Okay, we are daughters of the king. We were made to reign. And what I mean by that is like we were given a gift here to live on this earth. We were given a gift here to step into our truest and highest potential. And if you think about it that way, it's not about you anymore, right? This goal that you have, this big picture vision that you have to change the world, to impact lives, it's not about you, right? It's not about you. It's not about this rank goal. It's not about making money even, right? Like making money is great, right? And, hitting these goals are fantastic. But if you think about it that way, it's not about you anymore. And as soon as you shift that perspective, everything changes. Your energy changes. People feel it differently. It comes through the screen. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Even just in DMs, like you can feel that shift, right? So that leads me to the next reason why your IPAs are not working, okay? But before I get into the next reason, I just want you to know if you are not in the free Facebook group Made to Reign, you will learn all about how to actually tap into your inner queen and live your highest and truest potential every single day. Like I actually have tactics in there. It's like a 2-hour long training. It's free. And again, if you're on Instagram, all you have to do is go to the link in my bio. If you're on Facebook, it's linked in the description bar of the live video. So definitely check that out. But again, that leads me to the second reason, okay, that your IPAs are not working. And you're going to be like, ooh, because I feel like this might hit a few buttons or push a few buttons. You know what I'm saying? So the second reason is because you're coming across salesy or boring. Okay, salesy or boring. Like I mentioned, people know when you're trying to sell to them. Okay, people can literally feel it. People can feel it when you're on Facebook Live. People can feel it if you're just typing in the DMs. Okay, if you are coming across as self-serving or any way, or you want to sell to them in any way, they're gonna feel it and they're gonna be real turned off. Okay, so I also want to mention there's the salesy part, but there's also another extreme. Okay. And that one is being so scared of being salesy that you're just flat out boring. Okay. And it feels like on the other side that talking to you is a waste of time. Okay. And I'm just throwing that out there. We've got your two extremes, salesy and boring. So let me know, which one is it? Because it's like you can sit there and be like, hey girl, how's it going? They have no idea who you are. And then you just start this conversation. You exchange a couple words back and forth. Like, it's kind of boring, right? Like I've been there, I've done it because I wasn't sure how to do it without being salesy because I didn't want to be salesy. I've been salesy before. And how can you do your IPAs? How can you talk to new people? How can you build your network? All those things without actually being salesy, without actually being boring. And the way to do it is actually super simple. But basically, the way to do it, and you're going to be like, still, this probably doesn't even make sense, but we'll get there, okay? Is to lead with a servant's heart. Okay? And what I mean by that is we're not going to lead with a sale. Okay? We're not going to have a boring conversation. We're going to lead with actually helping someone. All of my conversations these days are not boring. It's literally me trying to help them somehow. What are you struggling with? How can I help you? How can I help you reach the goals you want in your life? Okay, and we'll talk in a little bit about how I know what kind of questions to ask or what I know is actually going to work for them or apply to them. But it's basically just about serving them and not about the sale at all. And here's the kicker. You do not want to sell until, how do I say this? You do not want to try and sell to a cold lead. Okay. You do not want to try and sell to a cold lead. Okay. So anytime I have a sales conversation with someone, I want them to be almost like hot and ready, I guess you could say. I guess like Caesar's, Little Caesar's pizza. But hot and ready like Little Caesar's pizza, okay? I do not want them to be a cold lead, okay? And I want them to literally be ready to go. I want them to want what I have to offer before I offer it to them, right? That's the key, guys. Like if you were wondering how to attract people to you without being salesy, it's literally getting them ready before they know they're ready. Okay? You serve them before. Okay? And if you serve them so much in the beginning, it's going to pay off. I swear to you it will. Right? And so again, in the first conversations I have with people, I'm just trying to see what kind of help I can be for them. Okay? And that's going to warm up the cold lead to where ultimately they become warmer and warmer and warmer and eventually just really hot. Right? And I know, again, because of this point, some of you are probably thinking, well, I don't even know how I can help them or what I can help them with, right? Let me know if that's you in the comments. If you don't even know what you can help them with, okay? So that leads me to my next point, which is number 3. And the third reason that you do not, that your IPAs are not working is because you don't have a clear niche. Okay. So what I mean by that is you don't know your avatar. You don't know your target market. You don't know who you're trying to serve and you don't know who you're trying to help. You don't know the main problem that you solve for people. And right now you're most likely speaking to everyone in your content. And I promise you that the saying is true. Okay. It's the saying that when you try to speak to everyone, you speak to no one. Okay. So once you discover your niche and your avatar, which stands for your ideal client, not only are you going to be able to serve them so much better because you are going to know exactly what they need, but you're going to have way more empowering and successful conversations and your business will scale so much faster just because you have a clear niche. Okay. And now you're probably like, well, Hannah, I'm multi-passionate. Okay, I can't pick a niche. I've tried. I can't narrow down. I want to talk about it all. My niche right now is lifestyle. Okay, I want to be a blogger. I want to talk about all the things, right? Let me know if that's you below because that was me if I'm being 100% honest with you. So let me know if that's you. But here's the thing. I'm here to tell you, I promise you, If you can narrow down your niche and you can narrow down who you're talking to, everything will shift. You will be so shocked at how well you can read your audience and how much they freaking adore you, right? I'm here to tell you. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's totally tricky. It's totally tricky. But I am here to tell you that I do have a 2-hour, literally 2-hour training on how to discover your niche and creating content that does convert. Okay. All to do with your niche. So if you want to gain access to that, definitely join us inside of the free Facebook group. Again, if you're on Instagram, definitely make sure you go to the link in my bio and you can gain access to it. If you're on Facebook, there's a link in the description box of this video, but it's literally a 2-hour long training figuring out how to discover your niche and talk to your avatar. So definitely check that out. And if you're hopping on live, make sure you say hello. We are on reason number 4 now, why your IPAs aren't working. And speaking of content, the 4th reason is all about basically you don't have the content to back it up. Okay, so I want you to think about it like this. Whenever you're building your network, whenever you're building relationships, whenever you're talking to new people, and if they don't know you, like if they don't know you at all, they're going to come look at your profile, right? And they're going to see what you're all about. Okay, they're going to check out your bio. They're going to check out your content. They're going to check out your pictures, your stories, most likely. They're going to see what you're about. And first of all, I wouldn't say first impressions are the most important thing, but I do think it's kind of important, especially if you're building your network with people you don't even know, right? You want your profile to look kind of nice, but it's not even about that, right? It's about what you have to offer. Okay, so how are you going to bring value? How are you going to bring value to this person's life, right? How are you going to bring value to that? How are you going to serve them? Okay, they should be able to look at your profile and look through your content and know what you have, okay, is valuable to them, right? They need to be able to look at your profile and know, hey, this person is for me, or they're not, right? Like what they have to offer is valuable to me, or it's not. Right? If your content is like all over the place or it's super salesy, it's not going to feel like you can serve them, right? They're not going to feel like you can serve them. You know what I mean? They're just going to feel like all you want to do is sell to them. So you need really good, high quality content that actually is catered to serving your audience, right? That serves your avatar, that serves your niche. And you want your ideal customer or business partner to come to your profile, to be intrigued by what you have to offer, and then you literally want them to binge all your content. That's what you want to happen, right? Like you want them to like look at your profile, be like, wow, like this person is for me. Hold on, let me look at their stories. Oh wow, this is really helpful. Let me look at their highlights. Wow, this is super helpful. Wow, like let me look at their IGTVs. This is super helpful, right? Like you want people to be obsessed with binging your content. That's what you want. And if you can do that, you're in really good shape, because I truly believe that the more that you serve your audience, the more you can sell to them, right? And again, in case you need another reminder, I have a 2-hour training on how to do this inside of Made to Reign. So definitely make sure you check that out. And then last, definitely not least, you're not being consistent with it and you're not doing it long enough, right? You know, like I feel like sometimes we'll be doing something for a week. We're still like not used to what we're doing. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's like, oh man, I've been doing this for 2 days or 2 weeks and it's not working. Like I'm not seeing results. There's practice, right? You have to practice, but it's also about these other things too. And it's about the energy that you have about it as well. And I really, really, really want to make sure that you understand the energy is so, so, so important. You know, and that sounds a little like bizarre and kind of bogus, but it's so true, because when you're talking to someone, you can tell if they're in it just to sell you something or if they're in it just because they want to help you, right? I know we so just wanted to point that out there. But yes, those are the 5 reasons why your IPs aren't working. Let me know if you have any questions. Send me a message if you do. I'd love to chat about it. This is something I'm super, super, super passionate about. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. This was awesome. I definitely want to do more of these.